So good morning and good evening to you, Heather. I know it's night for you, so welcome. Thank you for joining in. And even though we have a very low attendance today, the topic is very powerful. And actually, I think it's all the wedding season and, all the festivities that have come in. So that's why there are lesser people joining in, but it's absolutely okay. In fact, I thought instead of talking on this topic, which we could take up next week, let me ask if you have any questions, any of you, since we're a small group, if any of you have any questions, related to what we talk here, what we kind of uh, speak here, and we have been doing it for quite a while now. So why don't you all ask me some questions and we can take it on from there? Or if you want me to speak on this topic, I'm happy to take it ahead.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Sunny.
So Sujata, I messaged you yesterday. So I'm in this dilemma. Like, suppose you understand that people are speaking out of their ego, and every time a person is speaking out of ego, it is also reflecting on some kind of a shortcoming that they have. You know, and they're bossing around just to prove that, probably to prove themselves. So at times you tend to ignore it, but then at other times it also kind of hits your self-respect and it hits your emotions also. So there's a fine line of either to ignore, like we should be matured enough and ignore it, or at times speak up. That is my question.
Yeah, I totally understand. And in fact, the topic that we are going to speak on today, and I think I'll just start on it for a bit, and then maybe we can have a continuation for it next week. There is this very, very fine line. There is no doubt about it. There is this very, very fine line between what we perceive as ego and self-respect. And I hear a lot of times, people saying, just as Vani, you were asking that, I mean, should I just keep sitting back like a coward and let the other get the better of me? Or should I retaliate and should I speak up because that's my self-respect? So my only one line or one kind of sentence thing to you is, if you wish to speak back, I wouldn't say retaliate. If you wish to speak back, I won't even say speak back. If you wish to speak up, be very sure that you yourself are in a very easy, comfortable, and centered space. If you're speaking from a space of hurt or anger, or you've personally feeling hit by the other person's discussion or words or actions, then don't speak at that time. And I would say, if your mind tells you that you're a coward, so be it. But the fact is that it will not help you to grow or move ahead at that time. And really trust that when it is time for you to speak up, that topic will come up. Invariably, it will come up. There is absolutely no doubt. And if it doesn't come up, then that means that you have not to discuss it, but dissolve it within yourself. Dissolve that anger, pain. And why are you feeling that hit, if I may say? Firstly, what is feeling that hit? Your ego is feeling that hit, isn't it? But you're not your ego. You know that. That's just a part of you that makes you separated from the whole. And secondly, if it has hit you, that means that you have invested your own personal energy in that, isn't it? If it was something which is not of any concern or of any real value to you, then why would you feel hurt? Somebody tells you that, oh, you're so bad at, say, singing, but you like to sing, you like yourself, when you sing, whether it's in the bathroom or whether it's on a stage, it's absolutely okay. Why do we have to hit and defend and reply back that no? And why do we have to prove that no, I am good at this? Or what you are saying, to make it broader, is like what you are saying is wrong and what I am saying is right. Again, coming back to that thing, that what is more important? Is it important for you to prove that you are right? Or is it important for you to have your peace of mind? So what is the motive behind keeping quiet? What is the main thing behind why you're not kind of replying? And if in your heart you know that, yeah, you sing beautifully and you enjoy yourself singing, maybe you know that you're singing in a very, croaky voice, but that gives you so much joy and peace, so be it. You can also say that I think there's something wrong with your ears, but that will just go on endlessly. Then he'll say something, she'll say something. It'll be like a retaliation. So best is to just, for that time, keep quiet or withdraw. But don't go on churning that whole thing inside you. Do things that help you to first center yourself, come into a normal, healthy, non-biased space, and then express your opinion. But don't kind of, thopo your opinion on the other person. Don't like just enforce it that what you are saying is right and what the other person is saying is wrong. That's what leads to the conflict. And that's the conflict is always between the egos, isn't it? If you are speaking from your heart and you really know that, that person is making a fool of himself or herself because she keeps singing in the middle and everybody ridicules her and all that. And if you feel from a very gentle, centered space, you could tell the other person, I know you enjoy doing it, but just, let it not, don't try not to do it in this group because they just humiliate you. And I don't like that. And if it feels okay, say it. If it doesn't feel okay, don't say it. Or I would say further, if you want to go into it, enjoy the happiness that person feels in doing that action. You understand? And be open to being absolutely kind of negated or refused from the other person. He or she does not have to agree to what you're saying. But don't say it when you're feeling hit, when you're feeling angry, when you're feeling like, this is personally targeting you. And the problem actually is only because it is personal. Just because you think that you can do this very well or what you are saying is right, it is not the ultimate. How many times in life what we have thought right at that moment, years later or sometime later, has so-called not been right? So never just stick to any one thing. Just leave all your avenues open. Does that make sense, Vani? I want you all to please discuss.
Yes. No, yes. In fact, we were on mute, but then, you could have heard the reaction with the smile and the nod. So, Sujata, I agree completely. And it's important to, center myself. And most of the time we'll end up doing that, thanks to you. And it's been like getting into a system. But at time, it's not even the words or anything. It's just the tone and the intent. Sometimes what you're saying is also not something which is so strong or so harsh, and 10 times I would probably ignore it or don't even put in a lot of mind to it. But at times, it's not in the right space, it's not in the right environment, with not in the right when people are around, and then that is what actually hurts your ego or hurts your, no, it's not ego, it's actually hurting your emotion. But eventually the anger is of course out of ego, because then you are not coming in that acceptance to the let go kind of a thing, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But just remember that if someone is speaking, when you said intention, if someone is speaking from the intention of hurting you, then you will surely feel hurt because they are already speaking from a place where they are hurt. You know that statement, we even spoke about it, I think, a year or two before. Hurt people hurt people. People who are hurt, only they hurt people. Hurt people, hurt people. So they're already coming from a pain body and they're trying to impose that pain body upon you. That is just what is happening. But you may not accept it. You will only be so-called hurt if you're carrying some kind of hurt already within you. You know what I mean? If you're joyous and happy and okay, if she says you are not good, it's okay. Her opinion is not the ultimate. Why do we have to make her opinion the ultimate? Or their opinion, whoever it is, whatever ways? Why does everybody have to agree to, I mean, it's okay to, agree to disagree, if I may say. It is only because we want to be proven right in that conversation. If we are really speaking from a space where I want to respect myself, the biggest self-respect will be to step away and not speak. That silence is more painful than anything else, but don't do it with that intention. Again, my focus is what is the driving motivation? What is the intention behind your speaking or not speaking? That is what I would want to know. If we are really coming from a good space and we are speaking from our heart, for the well-being of the other person. If the other person accepts it, very good. If the other person doesn't accept it, that's also very good, isn't it? You said it with a pure intention, and that's it. Feel happy that you are at that vibration where you can speak from that position of a high vibration. Then it is not important whether the other person agrees or not agrees. If they agree, very good. If they don't agree, pray for them, bless them. But again, it is not necessary that what you are saying is what the other person feels right about. Maybe so many times as parents, we can see things because maybe we have more experience of life. So we know that this is going to be, that's how we kind of, keep nagging our children or telling them to do things in a particular way. But actually, that is also, if the child is not meant to understand or listen to it, don't push yourself beyond a point. And, I had a coaching center many years back. And this persistence of the parents that they know better and enforcing their opinion on the children that, you have to study a number of hours, you have to do this, actually spoils the relationships between the parents and the children. And it's not that you are going to be careless parents if you don't tell your child, but tell your child at the time when you know that you're going to be heard. So focus on those things. Don't impose. And more than anything, I always say pray. Pray that the child understands. Pray that the child comes into a space where, he or she can really understand that you're speaking for their well-being. And actually, that's what happens with all of us. Because the only thing that is disturbing us is that what the other person is saying, a part of you knows that that is right. And you are not in that energy to follow it. It's as simple, you should, if you're on a diet, you should not be eating certain things. But if somebody tells you, then it's a different way that you feel, because your inner true self is also telling you the same thing. And that's the conflict between the ego and the heart. Your heart is also telling you the same thing, isn't it? But your mind is trying to push you in another way, only to be one up on something. And yes, on the contrary, if you feel that if you have not spoken up and, it's like you feel, oh, I should have spoken up for myself, and you feel that regret and, you feel that low self-esteem within you, by all means, work on yourself to center yourself and then speak. Very important to speak. Because if you fall down in your own eyes, if I may say, and you feel, oh, I should have spoken up and I didn't speak up, that's not very healthy for you. And all these emotions that we bottle up inside, whether it is, feeling suffocated and not being able to respond, not being able to speak, not being able to put your point of view, they accumulate inside you, and sometimes they create deeper conflicts inside you. And that's really not healthy. But to speak up, first come into a centered space. Learn to do that. And then say whatever. And you will see how much, firstly, you will be heard. And secondly, you will see that what peace it gives you to just speak and share. And not that, dekh lenge, after some time we'll see how it turns out. I told you this, and stop all that. Those are all ego statements. Just bless the person and say, okay, may the best unfold. And so many times we say, okay, maybe we are also wrong, because we are only seeing it from what we feel right at this moment, isn't it? It may not be right for the other person at that moment. So just leave it open. The universe is like, the energies are now becoming so fluid. They're so grazed. There's so many more kind of opportunities, avenues, thoughts, perceptions that are kind of opening up. So focus on those and leave it open. Don't just block yourself into, this is the only way. Because we really narrow our perception by doing that. We really actually limit ourselves. Oh God, just this should happen. He should just see this. She should just understand this thing that I'm saying. No, just ask that they should understand whatever is for their highest and best. Open yourself up, expand, just feel that expansion within you when you come from a nice, healthy, centered space from your heart. Does that make sense, Vani?
Yes, Sujata, I also want to add something, which was my experience, and somehow it just gives me very, I don't know, it's sadistic joy, but it is. So a couple of times, like instances where someone has told me something, And I couldn't reply back to them, for some reason, because they're elder to you or whatever. Like, you kept quiet at that given point of time. And then God has a way of replying back to them. And literally, in a couple of instances, I have seen it happening so, like, within 10-15 days, that, then you feel, okay, God is there to support you. So if you keep silent, maybe God will answer for you.
Absolutely. Actually, the thing is, I'm again saying, if it is meant to be answered, that's just our ego saying that, yeah, this is exactly what I'm saying, and this is what is happening in the person's life. So just be thankful that whether it's God or you or something else in their life showing them the way, it's absolutely okay. Isn't it? It doesn't matter. That's the level I want you to be in. It doesn't matter from where they get that wisdom or whatever you're trying to convey to them. The fact is that they are in that space where you wanted to see them. Open yourselves, become that big and vast and expansive. That's what would really help you. And we say that we don't have to be ritualistic or religious or spiritual, but just learn to come into a very centered space. We've always been living with these conditionings of competition, jealousy, complexes. That one is better, I'm less, or I'm better, the other one is less. Break through all these things, because these are all coming up from the ego. And really, now we understand that this life is not to be lived with this sense of ego. And especially all of you who come here on this platform, we don't want to waste our life living in that battle, isn't it? We want to really grow out of it. And the universe is providing you all the sources. Just say that yes in your heart. Just say that yes in your heart. And if it doesn't feel appropriate, that you need to do something or say something, try not to do it. Try not to say it. And the moment you do it or set that intention with honesty in your heart, you'll see that it will settle down. It cannot nag you. And now, like most of you have learned so many things from me, whether it's simple tapping or the forgiveness prayer or cutting cords. Apply all those simple tools. Just excuse yourself for a moment, and by the time you're going to the washroom to pee and come back, you just tap 2-3 rounds. You'll see your energy totally settled. While the other person is shouting, just try to cut cords. Don't fall into the trap of the other's egos. Exactly what we even spoke about last week. Don't build all your homes in other people's spaces so that you become homeless. Just honor your life for who you are. This life is unique. Each one of us is unique. Our life is so beautifully created. And yes, there are things which pull us down. There are arguments, there are fights, there are traumas, there are mishappenings. But that's just how life is. There is always light at the end of the tunnel. Just pick yourself and keep walking, even if it is feeling dark. Even if you're feeling lost. You feel you have no anchor. Don't try to get your anchor into your children or your partners or your parents or your bosses. Find that anchor in that one universal energy. Call it God, call it Sai Baba, call it Durga, whatever you connect with or resonate with. Or even if you don't want to give it a name, just connect to that one strong internal energy which is within each one of us, and know that your connection there will never be betrayed. Never be betrayed. If it is something that is really for your well-being, in alignment with your soul journey, 100% you will achieve it sooner or later. Don't impose it by giving it a time span, giving it conditions that it should happen in this way, it should happen in this time. Let the divine choose the time. Let the universe choose the time. But have that trust, have that faith. I was just reading a small WhatsApp, like how people share, good morning messages. And it said that it was something that the picture behind was of the Golden Temple. And it said that I'm not worried about the next chapter of my life, but the book of my life, because I know who is the author. I'm not worried about the next chapter, the next chapter in my book of life, because I know who the author is. So if you know that and you have that trust that the author is nobody but God, or the universe, or whatever you might like to call them, guides, masters, they're all a high vibration. Just put it all there at the feet of God, as Muji Baba says, in the basket of God. Just empty yourself up. Life is not worth carrying all these burdens. Who knows how long we are going to live? 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. We don't know. Nobody knows and nobody can tell you. At least I am not aware if anybody can tell you. There may be ways where people can, but I would not want to go there ever. Just live every day to the fullest. And if there is something that is troubling you, don't get caught into the ego, because those are the lower vibrations which bring up fears, and then we have projections, and then we go to the next and the next and the next, and it goes on endlessly. Find your anchor in something which is already anchored. That's why they say go hug a tree, because it's so nicely anchored. If you are shaking and you're trying to make somebody peaceful, where will they find peace? They'll also start shaking with you, isn't it? If the tree is falling off and getting uprooted, you hug the tree, but you will also fall off with the tree, isn't it? So first ground yourself. Come into a nice centered space knowing, okay, I'm not feeling good. I'm feeling horrible. I'm feeling angry. But please let me just leave this all, because I don't want to feel this way. If you don't want to feel that way, then just release it. Just say to God, just take all this away from me. But we get entangled in that anger and in that hurt and in that regret. And then we are as much the victims as the other person, because now your ego has totally grasped you, isn't it? But if you just take that moment to pause, and I tell people, forget about trees, forget about Reiki, forget about meditations. What is it that you always have with you? Your breath. Simple, connect to your breath. Don't get caught in the fight of the ego and, sway away with it. The moment you connect to your breath, breathe into the center of your chest. This is where your heart expands. And yes, there could be emotions. There could be all that happening on the surface. Let it happen. Don't suppress your emotions. In fact, if you want to say something, you are angry, rather than saying it to somebody, just lock yourself up for 2 minutes in the washroom, look at the mirror and just spit it out. It doesn't matter to whom you are saying. It's only your ego says, I have to say this to her. I have to say this to him. Just go to the terrace and speak what you want to. Just speak gibberish. Just let it all out, because it's a collective emotion that is coming up. It's that adrenaline, call it whatever, rush that is happening in your body, and you want to vent it out immediately on the other person. That spoils the relationships, because you're not speaking from your heart. Would you ever shout to anybody, if you were connected at the heart? You wouldn't. So you just need to express that emotion that is bottling you up or suffocating you. Just go beat a couple of pillows. Just go for a nice walk, connect to nature. Just release that emotion at that time. That is what I mean. Come back to your breath, come to the heart, and then speak. That appropriate time, as Vani just shared, that appropriate time when it has to come will come. It may not come through you, but only your ego says it has to come through me. But I said this so many years back. I told you, I knew about it. Just scrap that I. It's only letting you go down the drain. It's not helping you. Just say, thank God that this, thank you, God, that you have revealed this to the other person, because you are coming from a genuine space where you want the well-being of the other person. And of course, the other person at that time is not able to see that you're coming from that space. And a lot of times when we say these things for ourselves, we are considered to be selfish, egoistic, arrogant. But that is only if your words are coming from your mind. If you say what you feel, for me, it is self-preservation. It is self-respect. It is not selfishness. If I know that if I stand here and I keep doing for the other person for, say, 24 hours, next 24 hours, I'll crash. So if I have to say, no, I'm sorry, I will not be able to do this, it's absolutely okay. Because that's preserving, and then maybe I can help the person for more than 24 hours. But if I'm all jumbled up in my mind with all the nonsense, and I'm like, just to prove that, yes, I can do this, I go on, that's like just sabotaging your energy. So be very aware, what is the space that you're coming from? just to prove yourself, just to prove, to the other person that, yeah, I can do this better, I can do this. No, stop all that. Just stop all these battles. It's okay to say I can't or I don't know. Just be more open, just be more fluid. Don't get limited. When we are speaking from the ego, we get constricted. And when we are speaking from the heart, we feel that expansion within us. Yeah, does that make sense? Anyone else who wants to share or ask anything in relation to this? Another thing that I remember, that I learned, I think this was through the pandemic when Rohini and I were doing the prayer meets. In one of the discussions, we discussed this, that when the other person kind of feels hit, it is always because we are sort of pointing fingers to the other person. And you are talking from your side, but you are imposing it on the other person. It's like, you are doing this, you are wrong. Shift that. Make it your true experience. If I say that, you always do this to me, that means you're already blaming the other person. Wherever there is blame, there will always be an argument. There will always be the ego. And the other person can totally defend it, that I didn't do it with that intention. I didn't say it with that intention. But if you switch that whole thing and you start each statement with yourself, saying that, when such a situation happens, I feel hurt. So you are taking that onus and responsibility upon yourself. Or this action of yours did not go well with me. I really felt bad. I really felt hurt. So then that means it's your true feeling that you are feeling, and the other person cannot deny it. They may say, yeah, but that was not my intention. And immediately the things will kind of open up, and, that forgiveness will happen. But if you're only pointing the fingers that other person, then you're giving that remote control, as we say, you're giving that power to the other person, that they are saying something and it is hurting you. So take the responsibility for whatever you're feeling, whatever you're experiencing upon yourself. And that's where I say the Ho'oponopono prayer is so powerful, because it begins with this, that I take full and complete responsibility for whatever it is that I'm feeling. And which is this I when we say in this prayer? It's not the small I as I in Srishti or Bambi or Sujata. That I is a bigger I, where all of us are one. Even the person who kind of committed a crime on you or your family. You're all coming from that space where you want to release this. So now don't limit these energies into your own little spaces. Just step up, just grow up, just step out and involve so many more. And to do that, yes, you have to kind of crush your ego. I'm doing this very interesting family constellation certification, and today is my last class after 14 months. I have my exam in 2 hours. So yesterday we did a constellation, and there was a child and a mother, and the mother had no emotions because she was always crying about how her childhood was destroyed by her mother and her grandmother, and like that whole family dynamics. And she was all the time the one who wanted attention. And in doing so, she actually even ignored or could not give that love to her child. And in the end, like I was playing the role of the mother, in the end, there is usually some kind of resolution or some insights that we come upon. The action that the mother did was actually to hug the child. But I still said at that time, even to hug the child, I had to crush my ego. So can you imagine a mother hugging her child has to crush her ego? But I still did not feel those emotions. Something energy shifted. So I put my hands out to hug the child, but I could not feel any emotions. And I felt, if I could say that I had to really crush my ego to hug my own daughter, that meant that I'm coming from such a strong ego space and I cannot see beyond me, beyond this I that I am. Because I was not loved, because so that's not my daughter's fault. That's not my child's fault. Isn't it? So I'm just saying that how powerful the ego can become, just to give you an example, that how powerful our ego can become and how much the ego can consume us. Anybody else would like to share? Let's hear from you also. Vandana, Vani. A lot of us are going through ego wars.
Yes, yes, I agree there, because somewhere in your mind you have this satisfaction that मैंने उसको answer back नहीं किया, उसको उसकी बात का जवाब नहीं दिया.
Hmm.
This that कि उसने मेरे लिए ऐसे क्यों बोला, that thought is so much inside you. Never understood it with this point of view, that it is my own ego.
Yeah.
So if the action is not as per my choice, or as per the words are not as per my choice, so मेरे को react करना जरूरी है. This is like, I never believe that it is my ego. Now I realize that it is the ego point of view, where मुझे लगे कि मुझे उसको जवाब देना. No, I think keeping quiet, it helped. I remember one incident when I called you for this, and I was like full of it, and like मैं क्या करूँ, ये बोल दिया, वो बोल दिया. So now, after what you told me to keep quiet and take it with a stride and wait for the time to come, it's so much of patience that I don't care what anybody is telling me, or what is the other person is talking about me. वो 15 दिन 16 दिन बाद आज जब मैं सुन रही हूँ आपसे, तो मुझे लगता है कि जरूरत ही नहीं थी मुझे ऐसे रिएक्ट करने की. If I don't react, if somebody is doing an action, if I don't react, it's lost.
Yeah.
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 So
Absolutely.
yeah. So
Yeah.
totally
Leave it
agree.
all
Yeah.
here and go, huh? Leave it all here.
Anji?
I said it's a
Yes.
special day and we all wish you and bless you from our heart for your birthday today, Vandana. So
Thank you, ma'am. Today I want to switch on my video because I'm all dressed up today for my birthday.
even if you're not dressed up, you can switch on your ego.
so, so, thank you so much, ma'am. Really,
Most welcome.
thanks.
Have a wonderful day and a
Thank
wonderful
you.
life ahead. And just
Thank
today,
you.
promise yourself, that is the biggest gift and the promise that you can give to yourself, that you're not going to carry this, you're not going to let anything spoil even one breath or one moment of your life.
Yes, ma'am.
This is the biggest.
Already decided. Yes.
Yeah,
Thank
absolutely.
you. Thank you so
Absolutely.
much.
Have a
Hoping to
wonderful.
see you soon. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah. And what joy it gives us to be feeling this way or to be living in this way. I mean, it's your birthday, but all of us are feeling so as if there's a celebration within each one of us, isn't it?
Thank you, ma'am.
That's
Thank
the
you. I'm
expansion.
so happy to hear that. Yes.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
that's the expansion we want. That's the love that we want. Because why is it just Vandana's birthday? It's all our birthdays, isn't it? Each day is a birthday. When we get up in the morning, it's like we are alive. So that's a birthday, isn't it? So celebrate.
Yes.
Just don't fall into the thing of, oh my God, what is going to happen? Those projections, those thoughts, they just drain you unnecessarily. And drop.
Yes,
I
true.
mean, once feel what will happen if I just drop this. I mean, I know if I go into this, it'll become like a war in the house. So do I
Yes.
really want that war? I don't want it.
No.
I just
No.
step away and be more peaceful, because that peace is mine. And everybody might be saying, oh, you're such a coward. You haven't stood up for yourself, blah, blah, blah. If it is giving you peace to be quiet at that time, or even if your ego is bashing you up, that why are you quiet? Stick to your heart.
Yes, ma'am.
There is something that has told you to be quiet. It may not be my voice only. It could be some, it's a definitely a higher voice. So if it is telling you, just listen to it. And
Yes,
you
ma'am.
will see the results. And then when you need to, it's not that, oh, I'm bottling myself up and then one day I'm going to burst up as a pressure cooker. No, that's not done.
Yeah, I'm experiencing the results, ma'am.
Yeah.
So, so I'm really happy.
Results,
Thank you so
okay.
much.
Yeah, thank you. And I'm catching you on that because the results are not something that we will see externally. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
not
it's
that
me.
things will get fixed. It's not that, yeah, the relationships will get fixed. They could, but at least you will be at peace with yourself, and that relationship that you have with yourself and with the biggest anchor in your life, which is the divine or the peacefulness within you. That is what is going to help you. That is what is kind of giving you permanent peace and joy.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. We don't use band-aids here, isn't it? We go straight.
Agree. Agreed. Agreed. Thank you.
Thank you. Nandita, are you saying something?
Yeah, hi Sujata. I differ on a few things. Maybe I'm wrong, but see, one was the silence. Your silence is kind of taken for granted. It's taken for your as a weakness that okay, we can keep hitting on her and she will not say anything. So I feel personally with my own life experiences, there's a time beyond which you should speak up. Silence ho gayi, and you've tried that route, it didn't work out, and then you have to try something else.
Okay,
That's
let me first clarify this point. There are two things to this. Silence, is it just silence outside or is it silence inside? You have to see that. If you are burning inside and you're shouting inside and you're just silent outside, believe me, that's not the silence I'm talking about. Silence is to be peaceful because it is giving you peace. And when you say did not give the results, those results are something that you're thinking in your mind that this result will change my life or change the other person, which, as I've always told you, may not happen. So be very aware. The result has to be that I am peaceful, I am happy, I am joyous. That is all. And I'm putting all my stake on the other person's behavior, and I'm not speaking because I know that it'll be retaliating. But the silence, when I went on my first silent retreat to Portugal, I was very happy. Kisi se interact nahi karna, be with yourself. But no, we were told by and by that silence, this repetitive chatter in the mind, that is true silence. And that is
no,
what I mean.
no repetitive chatter, but the people who are toxic around you, they think, yeah, she's not able, she doesn't understand.
Let them
you know
think. How does
they
it work you if they think?
and you understand every move of theirs. It's not that you don't understand. So they should know that you're not a fool. That's the
Why
point.
should they know? You know that you're not a fool. Don't keep suffering and be foolish that they should know. Sorry to be saying it in this way. I'm not saying it personally to you.
No, but then
You be
just
foolish
stop. You
every things
stop
that
with your actions. I understand you. I understand your actions. I understand your motives. Why do all this pretense? That's my say.
well, they choose to live like that and they
You
may
think
continue to live like that for all their life and many
why
incarnations
this
to come.
pretense with me? I understand each move of yours.
I understand. I know what you're saying. But if you understand and you know that their moves are they're just kind of deceiving their own selves in that move, so be it. That's their
No
choice.
point deceive someone else. Now I understand you. I
No,
know.
I'm sorry. We will not use blame here. They are not deceiving you. You are feeling deceived because of certain expectations or promises or some things
No,
from the
I
past.
have no expectations, Sujata, from anyone, but when I see this happening again and again, like
Mm.
a pretense play, and I'm like, I need to cut this. There
Yes.
is,
Need
pretense
to
is
cut it.
something
Absolutely.
which doesn't go well with me, honestly. I'm a
Absolutely. You need
straight
to
and
cut it.
forward person. If I like someone, I like someone. If I don't like someone, I don't like someone. I don't put up that pretense.
Totally respect you for that. But sometimes we are in
So,
situations where we cannot step out of that scenario or that energy field. So cut off internally with that person's energy. Don't let that person's energy impact you so greatly in every which way. Sometimes externally, we cannot step out of that household or that setup or that job or that relationship. So it doesn't matter. Do what you need to do, but keep yourself protected. Keep yourself in
like
a
I'll tell you now, I found my, space of happiness in my prayers, in my meditation and everything. Now I'm being told, अरे तुम्हारी इतनी लंबी पूजा चलती है, तुम तो पूरे दिन इसी में ही रहते हो. Now what is the problem? If I
Why
found
does
us,
okay. So why does it hurt you if the other person says this? You
अब
enjoy
इसको
that?
कम करो, अब रोज यही करते रहते हो. Like
So if
such
you
stuff.
enjoy doing it, just do it. That is exactly the topic. I'm so happy
Why,
that you brought it up.
why is there a problem with everything I do? That's my
Because the
question.
person has a problem with everything that you do. Can you not understand that? The
I'm
other
sitting
person, tomorrow,
quietly
if you stop
listening.
doing your puja, if you stop doing your puja, still the person will say, why are you not doing this or that? When you know that the other person has a problem with anything that you do, these are your own words, then why are you engaging in that? Just do what gives you joy and happiness. And if you just stop thinking that I'm doing this for the other person or just do it for your own self and you be happy, you will see that that happiness is so infectious. Now, why does it hurt you if the other person says that Sara din ye karte rehte ho? That is your calling. That is what you enjoy doing.
That's something I like, and why should I be always stopped for
Exactly.
feeling I like?
But then by saying it, you're negating your own self. I'm really sorry to be saying it. Just say, if the person says it, just brush it off. Just say, my puja is so peaceful. Mujhe ye baat to touch bhi nahi karegi because I'm so blissed out in my prayers.
Can I say something, ma'am, here?
Yes, please.
When I got married 30 years back, मेरे घर में मंदिर नहीं था. My mom-in-law didn't have a practically a मंदिर type of a thing घर पे जैसे पूजा का कोई स्थान होता है. और मतलब mom-in-law's mother-in-law, my दादी, he was a sadani. So वो believe नहीं करते थे Tuesday, Thursday कुछ भी, सब एक जैसे दिन थे उनके लिए, वो मानते थे ऐसे. तो I was like, मुझे तो नहीं खाना. I was a vegetarian before I got married. I was a forced non-vegetarian after I got married. So पूजा जो है ना वो अपने अंदर होती है, right? I believe that now after 30 years, my way of doing puja, this is I'm just saying, don't ma'am, if you're listening, don't take it in the negative sense. मैं 30 साल बाद आज पूजा अलग तरीके से करती हूँ. And I see my mom-in-law, मैं तो शिवलिंग के ऊपर जल चढ़ाए, उन्होंने छोटा सा शिवलिंग रखा है, मैं तो उसके ऊपर जल चढ़ाए बिना कुछ जल भी नहीं ग्रहण करती. तो पहले वो मुझे बोलती थी ये ढोंग है, ये क्या पूजा है, पूजा मतलब देयर थिंग्स चेंज. पूजा इज नॉट आप पूजा करते हो, कोई उसके लिए आपको कुछ बोल रहा है, आई थिंक आपको वो सुनना ही नहीं चाहिए.
Yeah, but why are we going even that far? I mean, how many of us are here today who did not believe in all this hocus pocus? What is this Reiki? What is all this God? And
Yeah.
I am the only one who can handle my life. So many of us, maybe even including me at some level, it was like we were not really so connected with what we are believing in today because it has become my experience and it gives me that peace of mind. Isn't it? So it's absolutely okay. The other person cannot see the light. You can only show them the light. You cannot pick them up and put them in the light. But you don't stop yourself from moving out of that light into the darkness. Isn't it? If you are there shining your light, it will touch them sooner or later. But that is not the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm standing in the light because I am that light. I want to radiate that light because that gives me my sense of, I wouldn't even say, makes me happy. It's just who I am. It's just make me feel so good and comfortable because this is home. This light is me. And
yes. And you change, things change for you.
Yeah. And if you can see that light within you, the moment
Yes.
I'm radiating that light is also there within you. But unfortunately, at this moment, you cannot see, and that's fine. So let me include in my prayers that you too are able to see the light or whatever makes you happy and peaceful. May that be so. Isn't it? So stop. Just catch yourself when you feel. Sorry, Nandini. Sorry, go ahead.
Have hurt you, they will come back with a very polite face and all. You can see through all that, and you don't want to, but then they feel you have a big ego. It's not
They
ego.
feel you're not. Yeah, but you don't have to prove it. That's exactly
Not
what
ego.
I said.
It's
I don't know
just you
whether you
don't want to
join.
be in that space again.
It's fine. That space will not happen if you step out of the house because then somebody else will show you that you're egoistic, then something else will show you. So just find that space wherever you are. It doesn't matter where you are. Whether you're in this house or you're in this office, you're in this relationship or you are in this, setup, it doesn't matter. First, find that peace within you. Wherever you are, it doesn't matter. You will come to it. You've grown so much since I met you. Now, I know sometimes incidents happen and we feel we have regressed, but no, I know you will never regress. But yes, catch yourself when you're blaming, catch yourself when the focus is outwards, turn within, and you will see. If it is your self-respect, just stand there. When you know it, you're coming from your heart. And it's only the other person's ego which is speaking this, isn't it? So don't let it scratch your ego. It's just trying to hit your ego, pressing that button, and you're getting pressed. It's okay. If they say so, that's their belief. But your belief is different. You hold your belief in your heart. And really, we'll all pray that all of us here are able to see that, not just you. Because lot of times all of us present here fall into this space of blaming and pointing our fingers outward. But really, let's pray for all of us here that we are really able to shift the focus inside and see that nobody can disturb my peace of mind. And yes, for that, maybe in life things fall off, maybe in life people kind of move away, some things may happen, but let the universe decide. Don't push into anything. Let the universe decide that. But just pray that whatever gives you your sense of peace is really more important than anything else. And if it hurts the other person, that is not your problem. And if the other person has hurt you and now is coming with a thing and you can see through it, just like your ego will say it in that way, but just say, it's okay, I can see through it. So respond with truth to the level that you can. If not, just give a smile and walk away. Bless the person in your heart. That will really help you to grow. Yeah. Thank you for your honest sharing, Nandita. Really, thank you. Because I know
Thanks.
many of us go through this at various times in our lives. And
Yes, but the problem is everybody blames it on your ego. Anything
let
wrong
them
happens.
blame it, but
She's
it's
egoistic.
not your ego. Forget
It's
about
not
the
my
others.
ego. It's not my ego.
Yes, you know it in your heart, it's not your ego. I know it. And I know that it's not your ego. But if we keep bringing it up, then yes, our ego wants to be proven that it's not the ego. So just let it be. This is also the ego speaking. It's not me, it's not me, it's not me. It's okay. We know it's not you. Just come into your heart. The ego will also come in there. It feels very happy there.
Yeah, but everybody wants to put you down. That's
But
what.
no, nobody can put you down till you don't want to be down. So
That's
it's
true.
okay. Just hang in there. You're doing very well. Just hang in there. I can understand your pain totally. Just hang in there. Nobody wants to do anything to you. Don't feel threatened. Find your anchor in that puja that you do. How many positive things, how many signs you've seen, how many blessings you've received. Just hang on to those.
Yes, I'm there. I'm not going to leave
Absolutely,
it.
you're there.
That's my.
Absolutely. God bless you, and you're there. And thank you. Even speaking like this, you're showing the light to so many of us here.
Yes, I think that's something which will really change your lives. Whoever's listening, I don't know who all other
All of us
audience.
are listening, and many more will listen. So it's fine. It's not just you speaking, Nandita. It's like
Your
really speaking for a
meditation,
lot
your
of us.
connect to God. That's the strongest anchor you have in this life.
Absolutely.
Nothing else matters.
Absolutely. Okay.
Nice talking to all of you. Yeah,
Thank you
I'll
so
end
much.
here. I won't speak
Even-
much.
It's okay. I'll also end today because I
Thank you so much, ma'am.
to go into a session. So I think we have enough things that we need to chew on and just listen to this, share this, and be here. Share the topics that you want us to talk on. We are very happy to understand it and discuss whatever I can to the best of my abilities. Thank you. God bless you. Love you all.
Thank you.
Have a
Thank you,
wonderful
ma'am.
day.
Thank you
Bye.
so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
Sunday. Bye.
Thank
Thank you, Suju. Thank you.
you.
Bye.
Thank you.